Welcome back to Mrs. Stewart's Crochet Club. Today I'm going to teach you how to make these juicy plush lips. This would make a good present. It looks like a lot of work, but it's actually not too bad. It's only 31 rows along the top, and I think it's 31 rows along the bottom. Join me for this very simple but gorgeous project. You're going to love it. Reminds me of the Hot Lips candy when I was a kid. So please follow along. Today we're going to learn how to make the top lip, and in the second part video we're going to learn how to make the bottom lip and how to assemble it together. Please join me. You need blanket yarn, you need a size 8 or 9 millimeter hook, and some stuffing. I hope you follow along because this one's going to be great. We're going to start with using the Bernat blanket yarn. So this one, I think I picked it up from Walmart. So Yarn Inspirations Bernat blanket yarn. It is about a size 6, so it's a super bulky, and they recommend a 8 millimeter hook. Today I'm using a 9 millimeter hook because this is what I have on hand. We're also going to be using a contrasting thread to keep track of our stitches here. Okay, so I've got my contrasting color thread just to act as a stitch marker, and I'm going to start by making a slip knot. The good thing about this pattern is it is only about 30 or 31 rows or rounds for the upper lip, so it kind of goes quickly. So start with a slip knot, and we're going to do a chain 2. So 1, 2. And in the very first stitch, or the very first chain, we're going to be doing 4 single crochets. So here we go. There's 1, and these are all going into the same chain. 2, 3, and 4. So that is our first part. We're going to start putting in our contrasting thread now just to act as a stitch marker, and it will follow us all the way up to the end of the project. So round 2, we're going to do a single crochet followed by a increase, and that's going to happen twice. So we'll just try our best to get in there. A single crochet in the first. There's a single. Oh, there's human hair. Single crochet, there's 1. And in the next stitch, we kind of have to search for it. It's right there. We're going to be doing an increase. So that's 2 single crochets. 1, 2. Okay. We're going to be repeating that. So we're doing a single crochet in the next stitch. There's the next stitch. I can see my 2 lines there. So I'm just going to shove it in. Single. And in the next one, here it's right here, we're going to be doing 2, so an increase in the next stitch. 1, 2. That's round 2 complete. I'm just going to pop that out so everything's going in the right direction. I'm going to grab my my contrasting thread and use it as a stitch marker for this next round. So the next round is going to be 2 single crochets followed by an increase, and we're going to be doing that twice. It's going to be single, single, increase. Here we go. There's a single, 1, 2, and here's the next one, increase. 1, 2. And then again, 1, 2, and then 2 increase in the same, or sorry, in the next. 1, 2. Okay, so that is that round. Going on to round 4, we're going to take our contrasting thread and just rest it through there as our stitch marker again. This one is going to be 3 single crochets followed by an increase. So that's 3 in the next 3, and then 2. There's 1, 2, 3, and our increase. 1, 2. Again, 3 and then an increase. 1, 2, 3. And in the last one of this round, we're doing our increase. That's 2 single crochets in the last stitch. 1 and 2. Okay, I'm going to pull up my contrasting thread and use it as a stitch marker again. Moving on with row number 5. So this is going to continue the same way as the previous round, except it's going to be 4 single crochets and then an increase. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and increase. 1, 2. Again, we're going to do it again, 4 and then an increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the last stitch, increase. This is creating the corner of our mouth or the upper lip. On to row 6, it's going to be increase, increase. It's going to be 2 increases in the first 2 stitches and then 10 all the way around. So here we go. This one is lifting up a little bit easier now. You can kind of see the stitches a bit better. So increase, increase, and then 10. 1, 2 for my increase. Increase in the next one, so 2 stitches into the next space. 1, 2, and then we're going to continue on to the contrasting thread, or we're going to go to 10 around. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. This is the last one of this round. We're going to make sure our contrasting thread remains in play here. Okay, on to round 7. We're going to start with a single crochet into the first stitch. We're going to do 2 increases. There's 1, 2, 2 in the first stitch, and then 2 in the next stitch. And we're going to continue around to the end of this circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So that should be 11. You should have a total of 16 stitches at this point. Going on to number 8. We're going to move our stitch marker, make sure it's following us up, starting at this stitch right beside it. We're going to do a single crochet, 1 single crochet, an increase in the next one, so that's 2 single crochets in the same stitch, followed by 2 single crochets, 1, 2, 1 increase, so that's 2 in the same stitch, 1, 2, and then it should be 11 all the way around. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So that is 11 around. Good, we're on the right path here. Onto row number 9, it's going to start with a single crochet and then an increase. So there is 1 single crochet, increase, so 2 single crochets in the same one, 1, 2, 4 single crochets, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to do a little increase here. And then follow to the end, which should be 11. I hope I'm right. 11 to the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Okay, so you continue up your contrasting color. Row 10 starts with a single crochet, increase, 1, 2, 6 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, followed by an increase. So that's 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to continue all the way around, which should be 11 stitches if we are keeping up with our stitch count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we made it back and our stitch count is still looking good. So we're going to move our contrast, keep it going. Moving on to number 11. We're going to start with a single crochet and then an increase, single crochet, increase of 2 in the same stitch, 1, 2. Now we're going to do 8 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to do an increase, so 2 in the same spot, 1, 2. Oops. And then we're going to continue around to the end, which will be 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. There's a piece of fuzz on my yarn. 11. Good. So we just completed round 11. Okay, so at this point we should have 24 stitches all together. So this round 12, it's 24 stitches around. We're just going to be doing no increasing in this round. So let's go and we'll double check if we have our stitch count right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 24. So actually I did have my stitch count right. Thank goodness for this. I did have to go back one time to undo because I thought I had my stitch count wrong before, and this string saved me. Moving on to row number 13. We're going to be starting some decreases now. So we're going to start with a single crochet and then 1 decrease. Now, some people will put their hooks through both, like pull it out through here. The amigurumi decrease is you just go through the front loops like this. So I would go through one of the front loops and the front loop of the next stitch as well. It's a little bit tricky with this kind of yarn. You kind of have to wiggle it a little bit. It's hard to see those bars sometimes. Okay, so I'm in the front loops of those next 2 stitches. Yarn over, pull it through, yarn over and pull through 2, and that is one method of decreasing, and it eliminates holes. Then we're going to do 8 single crochets followed by another decrease. We go 8. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to have another decrease here, so going through the front loops. These ones are much easier to see, I think. So go through the front loops of 1, and then go directly through the front loops of the second one, yarn over and pull through both of those, yarn over and pull through 2. And then we're going to finish the single crochets all the way to the start. So it should be 11. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Make sure you're pausing from time to time to shake out your hands. Using these larger hooks and the larger yarn can often be taxing on your hands, so I would recommend you shake your hands out every now and then. The next round is also going to be some more decreases, so we're going to start by continuing our contrasting thread. Find the first stitch. We're going to do a single crochet in that one, and then we're going to do a decrease. So I'm going to again go into, if I can find it, the front loop of that one and the front loop of the next one. I'm going to yarn over and pull it through, and yarn over and pull through 2. Now I'm doing six single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, another decrease through the front loops. So there's a little bit harder to see on this one. 1, sorry, I got my finger right up to the lens there. 1 and 2, yarn over, pull through those 2, yarn over and pull through the 1, and then you're going to continue all the way around to the beginning, and I think it should be 11 single crochets. So let's count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Perfect. Okay, things are starting to look good. I can almost see a lip shape coming up here. Okay, going on to the next round, round 15. Sorry, I'm just going to my notes here. We're starting with a single crochet, more decreasing. So, oh, my contrasting thread, I almost ignored her. There she is. Okay, single crochet, decrease, so going through the front loops again. 1 and 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. And now we're going to go for 4 single crochets and then another decrease. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, get it all the way through. 4. Decrease. 1, 2. Get my decrease there. And now another 11 single crochets to the end. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Perfect. The numbers are working out. Okay, moving on. Number 16, row 16. Carry your contrasting thread. It's going to be 1 single crochet followed by a decrease. Single crochet. Find the top loops of the next 2 and go into them. There's 1 and 2. Pull through 2, pull through 2. Then we're doing 2 single crochets. 1, 2, followed by another decrease, and then 11 single crochets. So decrease here. 1, 2, pull through those 2, pull through those 2, and go for 11. Sometimes it can be tricky where the decreases are to see where the start of the next loop is, because it kind of pulls this in one direction. If it's attached like this, like there's a big gaping hole, that's not where you want to go. You want to go into the next one. And that just takes, I think, some experience to determine where that stitch is. And also, if you do amigurumi decreases on regular type yarn, it's much more obvious of where the stitch is. So I've kind of gotten used to it because I've been using that decrease on other projects. and it just takes some time. So it helps to know the stitch count. We should be doing 11 stitches from that last decrease. And if you find that your numbers are not right, then you've made a mistake and you can go back and fix it. Courtesy of the contrasting thread, that helps so much because this yarn can be so hard to see. And this is my 11th one. There we go. Oh, it's coming along. Okay, so we're done with our decreases now. We're gonna start another increase. So this is the one side of the lip right there. And it's gonna go down. I think that's all the decreasing we're gonna do. Yeah, that's all the decreasing. So it's gonna start going back up again into the rest of the lip. You can pause now and stuff a little bit. I'm gonna go another round or two and then I'll start stuffing this side. Okay, so we're on row number 17 now. Starting row number 17, I'm gonna just move my stitch marker, keep it going. We're starting with a single crochet, followed by an increase. So this stitch here, we're gonna be doing 2 crochets into that one. Then we're going to do 2 single crochets followed by an increase. So here we go. 1, 2, increase, 1, 2, so that's 2 in the same spot. And then we're going to continue on with our 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11. Okay, I've just paused for a moment just to stuff this. When you're stuffing, you want to make sure you get into the corner there, and here, right into the corner. We want it to be firm, but we don't want it to be poking between the stitches too much. It might appear a little bit, but it's not going to be a big deal. Again, I used a size hook up from the recommended, but I think it's okay. So I'm just using, I'm actually bought a pillow from Walmart, like a cheap discount pillow. And instead of buying the expensive stuffing from like craft stores, it works just as well. Tends to be a little fibery. I make sure I always use new ones. I'm not taking the ones off my bed. And so the part where the lip is kind of bulgy, let's make sure that it's nice and stuffed. And so it should be, so from your angle, this is the top of the lip. It shouldn't be like that. This is the top. So it will end up being flat in this section. Just stuff it as much as you feel is necessary without overstuffing it too much, unless you like juicier lips than others. And this, this first stuffing, we can always add more once we get closer to the end. Ooh, it's looking good. I can see the lips starting to take shape here. Okay, I'm just gonna lightly stuff that and I will add more as I go. I think that's good. And my contrasting thread has gotten caught up in the stuffing process. Okay, continuing on. Okay, so 2 single crochets into the first 2 stitches. That's 1. This is partly why I like to stuff it later, is because it can get to be a lot to handle, but I had good interruption just there, so I thought it was a good time to do it. Increase and then 4 single crochets. So 2 into this stitch, 1, 2, and then 1 into the next 4 stitches, 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, And then we're going to increase 1, 2, and now it should be 10 single crochets. Things start to get different with the count here, so I have to keep good track of it. So it should be 10 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we are, back at the start again. This next round, which is round 19, which is round 19, starts with 3 single crochets and an increase. 1, 2, 3, increase, 1, 2, then we're going to do 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then we're going to increase, and continue back to the beginning. It should be 9. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9. Ooh, glad that worked out. 9. I was unsure of myself there for a second. Okay, so moving on to round 20. It's going to start with 4 single crochets and then an increase. So get our thread going. 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, increase, so 2 stitches in the next stitch, 1 and 2, now it's going to be 8 single crochets and then an increase again, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, increase, so that's 2 in the next stitch, 1, 2, and it should be 8 stitches to the end. Here we go, 8 single stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, oops, I only got the first one, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wonderful. Onto row 21, and it's going to be single crochets all around. Should be 24 at this point. So 24 single crochet all the way around for row 21. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep going, I'll meet you there. Okay, so I did have 22 all the way around. I'm going to make sure I'm continuing my stitch marker. And at this point, we're back to the decreases. So we've made it up to this point, and now we're going to be going back down to finish out the lip, the top lip. So row 22 is what we're on. We're going to start with 4 single crochets and then a decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a decrease. So we're going through the front stitches of the next 2. So we'll go through 1, and then again through the next one, 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So that is your decrease. Now it's going to be 8 single crochets. So again, try and don't be fooled by the one that the decrease is coming out of. We're just going to go to this next spot here. 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to decrease again, so we're going to go in the front loop of this one and then the front loop of the next one. There we go. Yarn over, pull through these 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and there should be 8 more stitches to go in this round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. On to row 23. We're going to go 4 and then a decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, then decrease. 1, 1. Now here we're going to be doing 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, another decrease, so going into the fronts of the next 2, front loop. Okay, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through those 2, and we should be left with 8. I think it should be 8. Let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. So now we have gotten all the way around. Our count is correct. Going on to row number 24. So contrasting color goes in there. We're going to do 5 and then a decrease. 5 single crochets and then decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, decrease again, so through the top or front loops. 1, 2, we're going to be going 4 single crochets and then a decrease again. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, decrease, 1. Can be tricky to get into the front loops of these blanket yarn stitches. And we should be left with 7 stitches left to go to the end of the row. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. We got there and the stitch is still correct. So now we are going on to row 25. We're almost there, and we're going to continue to do some stuffing in a few minutes. So row number 25, we're going to start with 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to decrease. We're going to be doing 2 single crochets. 1, 2, another decrease, there we go, and we should be left with 6 stitches to the end here. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Moving on to round 26, we're going to continue our contrasting thread. This one is 6 single crochets, then 2 decreases, and then 6 single crochets. So here we go. 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, decrease, so going through the top loops or the front loops. 1, 2, that was 1 decrease, and we're going to go into a second decrease, so not this one that's kind of pulled up, the next one beside it. So get under that first front loop and the second front loop, yarn over and pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through those 2, and now we're going to go 6, should get us back to the start here. So don't go into that one that's pulled up, the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to pause and stuff this, continue to stuff, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I stopped and I stuffed it a little bit. I kind of overstuffed a little bit on this side, but you'll find as we go, as we decrease on this end, we may need to disperse some of the stuffing into the end that's going to be closing up. So moving on, we just finished row 26, moving on to row 27 here, keeping your contrasting thread with you. It's actually helped me quite a few times making this project. If I notice I made a mistake, I can easily just go back and not have to count. So row 27 will be 5 single crochets. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to be doing 2 decreases, so 2 decrease stitches and then 5 single crochets again. So kind of work your way into the front loops. That was not right. 1, 2. Oh, because I stuffed it, it's a little bit taut more than before. Anyway, I got through. So that's 1 decrease, and we're going to go in and do a second decrease. Go in through that stitch there, and the next one, yarn over, pull through those 2. Because I stuffed it, everything is tighter, but it's okay. Yarn over and pull through those 2, and it should be 5 more stitches to get back to the start here. So let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so that round gave me a bit of a challenge just because it's stuffed and it's a little bit more bulky to handle, but that's okay, we can get through it. All right, going on with row number 28, we're gonna start with 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we are going to decrease by going through the front loops if we can. It's a little tricky right now, but we'll do our best. That was rather smooth, actually. 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and another decrease. There we go. Contrasting thread, it's getting shorter and shorter, which is very satisfying. Going on with row number 29. Let me get row number 29 here. Okay, so we are going to be doing 3 and then decreasing. So 1, 2, 3, and we will do a quick decrease here. So going through the front loops, 1 and 2, decrease, 3 more, and then another decrease. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and a decrease. So go to the front loops, 1, and the other front loop. There we go. You can start to adjust some of the extra stuffing. So I kind of overstuffed this side a little bit because I knew that I would have to be moving some of it down. So I've just moved a little bit. The next row, we only have 2 more rows to go. So row 30, it's going to be 2 and then decrease and then 2 and decrease on the repeat. So get my contrasting thread going. Here we go. 1, 2, and decrease. 1, 2, 2 more. 1, 2, and a decrease. Everything's getting much smaller here. Okay, we are on to our very last row, which is 1 decrease, 1 decrease. You might want to add a little bit more extra stuffing here. You don't want it to be overstuffed, but it has to be enough to hold up the shape. I'm just going to add a tiny little bit. Just a little bit to add some structure there. Okay, I've kind of stuffed it down and I can use my hook to adjust it later. So contrasting thread, and what did I say? Single crochet and then decrease. 1 single crochet and a decrease. Oh, it's getting tricky. Okay, one more single crochet. Make sure I'm getting the right stitch. It can be tricky here. Our goal is just to decrease so that it's small at the end. So if it doesn't work out entirely, even if you can't get through the back loop or the front loop, you could go through both loops for the decreases and it probably wouldn't make that much difference. Okay, so there we are. We finished that row. You're going to just make sure you clip off a little extra room for this to be woven in. Okay, pull it through some, I'm going to slip into the next stitch. You don't need to do this. You could just pull it through as it was, but I like to add the extra security of one little more stitch. And then this stuff is really hard to sew in. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take our hook and find a spot maybe down here, stick it out through the hole. We're going to grab this and we're going to pull it through. Alternately, you could use a darning needle and thread it onto a darning needle so the hook doesn't pull it out. Okay, so you can leave it like that, or you can go through and maybe weave it one more time. I might go this way. So I'm coming out the same spot. Or pull it through that way. Okay, once that is through, you can clip it off. It's likely to stay in place. Smooth that out a bit. You can even use your hook to adjust the stuffing if you need to, but this is only part 1 of this project. You'll find that when we sew the bottom lip to the top lip, any kind of weirdness that's on the end will disappear because these two, it's going to be attached to another piece. So take a second, adjust, find out the best angle for your lips. This looks like the best angle for mine. This would be my top lip, and stay tuned. We're going to be doing a double lip and sewing them together. I hope that you have made it this far. I hope that this project is not too difficult. There is a lot of bulk to deal with, but other than that, it's pretty basic, increasing and decreasing. Please let me know how you did and follow along for the bottom lip, and this will be super cute. You're going to love it when it's done.